Hello, this is Dancingbear, your autistic prince, Darwin's favourite son.
And I'm just Tom, Koala. No fancy titles here.
Are you sure you don't want to add on, or?
I might extend it sometime. Or shorten it to just Tom.
Well, I noticed the reason why I'm going to now
Maybe we should
add on a title every week because of certain comments, so I'm going to be pedantic now and just add an extra title every week.
It's longer. Here's the autistic prince of all existence in the universe.
Just see how long my title can be without forgetting things. So, you had a good week?
I have, yeah. It's been alright. I'm, like I said, every week I've said it, I'm really enjoying doing this.
Yeah, wow, man.
Besides my mum attacking me the other night.
That were fun. Do you want to talk about this in July? Basically, listeners, what happened was me and Tom were just talking on the phone earlier on this week. And Tom got, how can I word this? Got cornered.
You ever seen that scene in Jurassic Park where the Velociraptor just comes out of nowhere? Number 2. They just come out of the grass.
You got to put into consideration, from my perspective, I don't know what's going on because I'm at the other side of the phone. All I can hear is a woman's voice. Is that Irvine? And all of a sudden, in the background, Tom's going, no. That's what it sounded like for me. And basically, Koala's mum, Tom's mum, took the phone from him so she could get information from me to find out which channel this podcast is on. So she took an interest. Saying that as well, my mum, I think for the first time this week, listened to our podcast. I think she's catching up now. And I have received a criticism. Apparently, I cut you off one too many times, so I'm going to try and stop doing that.
I ain't too bothered. But, now our mums are listening. We'd just like to announce this is the last one. No. Man, it's fucking sweltering.
Yeah,
Right.
If we take minor pauses in this particular podcast, please excuse us because it is genuinely warm. It has to be just under 25 degrees out there. It's got to be, hasn't it?
God, we're starting to sound like them annoying radio presenters.
It is hot today. No,
yeah,
it just is.
Well, I mean, it's a weekend, so you've got to say, it's going to be a big one. They always say that on radios, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Every weekend is a big one.
Yeah, they do. So, a lot's happened this week,
yes,
in all fairness,
including yesterday, the big day.
Yeah.
Do you know the day?
I don't.
The raid on Area 51.
Oh.
It was yesterday.
Did it happen?
75 people turned up.
You are joking. Out of how many petitioners?
Oh, I think.
How many did it turn out? About
like
a million,
close,
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nearly 1 million.
So how many people
75, as far as I know.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and people that don't want to be gender specific or specified by gender, let me be clear, this is a lesson in humanity. This truly shows how many people out there truly are people of their word.
Yeah, I mean, they turned up in like alien costumes and that, some of them.
See, this is why there was a certain novelty behind this latest craze, because you got to be realistic about this. If every single one of those people who signed that petition turned up, they'd have probably been able to break
Storm
in.
the gates.
They would have been, no, seriously, they'd have been able to storm the gates.
Yeah, but what are you going to get? Like, obviously, either we're alone in the universe or we're not. Both thoughts are equally terrifying, but...
Is it a scary thought, though, if we ever realise we're not alone in the universe? Is it?
Well, that's the quote, isn't it? It's a scary thought. Either we're alone or we're not. If we're alone, it's terrifying. If we're not, it's terrifying.
What would you find most terrifying? If we ever found out we were alone, or if we weren't?
Do you know what I'd find terrifying?
Go on.
If an internet partition to break into a military base succeeded in finding alien life. It was removed from Facebook.
Was it?
Yeah.
Who was it removed by?
Facebook, I think.
Facebook themselves?
Yeah. A couple of weeks before all this, so never know, but yeah. I want another partition. I want a partition right now on Facebook with 1,000 people to sign up to, for people to try and take Donald Trump's hair off to see if it really is a toupee. If we get thousands of people to sign that, there's a guarantee. Yeah, all right, the Secret Service might shoot a couple of them, but there's a guarantee at least someone will be able to get a full handful of that Trump hair and pull it off. And if it stays, it stays.
Yeah. I don't know what I can add to that, to be honest with you. All I can say is, in a bizarre way, I'm glad that no one... it didn't blow out of proportion, the whole Area 51. But at the same time, though, I am slightly gutted. Because I want to know what's going on in there, man. What is going on in Area 51? I want to know.
I want to know. But see, I'm not sure what's there. I mean, I don't think anyone does, but I do know it's the only US military base in America that doesn't have to pay like carbon emissions and things like that. So they've got free reign to burn or destroy anything they want that makes whatever gas. It's why it's in the middle of the desert.
This is pure speculation now.
Nazis.
What do you think's in there? And please, to all these people watching, put a comment in the comment section what you think's in there as well. But honestly, Tom, what do you think's in Area 51?
Right, well, I actually don't think it's aliens.
You don't? Fair enough.
I think if I had to actually hazard a guess, either it's a massive recycling plant, hence they can burn whatever they want, or because it's a military base and it's got a runway and everything and it's in the desert, probably just for testing new planes in the military. I mean, if you go back, right, don't forget, the stealth plane was invented, designed around World War II, and we didn't see it till what? Years and years after?
Yeah.
Now, if you'd seen a stealth plane flying around that was an early test, a beta, which they would have had, you would have assumed UFO.
Okay.
And also, I said Nazis just because at the end of World War II, a lot of Nazi scientists were allowed to defect and moved out of Germany.
I knew that,
so
yeah, I did.
Maybe that's where their research went.
But a question for you, though. I have seen a lot of, they are there, the interviews of, I believe, a lot of American Army generals that works at Area 51. And before they died, they did an all-inclusive interview and what is really there. And a couple of them have actually said alien life exists, blah, 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 blah. They didn't actually say they were living in Area 51, but they basically confirmed that they have proof that extraterrestrial life...
it's those things, it's does it or doesn't it. See, I'm open on that thing because if you found bacteria on Mars, that counts as life, so alien life exists.
Yeah, technically that's true, but basically what I'm trying to get at is I'll have to try and find it for you, and anyone who's listening, feel free to try and find it. It's actually pretty interesting. But basically, my argument is this: why would they lie? Because these people are literally on their deathbed. Why make something up at this point? They're going to be dead in a matter of... Some of them were a matter of days, a matter of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. It's one that...
So
but,
why lie? Do you know what that's my argument. Go on, sorry, I cut you off then. I got to stop doing that.
Here's the weird thing about biology that always gets me thinking. Do you know there's nowhere they've ever looked that they've never found life?
How do you mean? Like, sorry,
even volcanoes have bacteria that can survive there.
Interesting, isn't
Antarctica has animals, if they get too hot, they melt.
Wow.
That live in the ice. So, even, like, tardigrades can live in space. Like, them little things. So, basically, everywhere they've ever looked for life, they found life or something that can live life in that area. So...
So, basically,
there's always
if life always tends to find a way, is it...
to quote Jeff Goldblum, life always finds a way.
Is it a far stretch? Is it truly a far stretch of the imagination that life would find a way on other planets, even if they?
Do you want to know my personal theory on aliens?
Go on.
So it's always shown.
Probe me, Spock, please. No.
I can't even do the. Live long. We'll get to Star Trek in a minute, actually, because I want to talk about something.
Go on. Can't believe I just said probe me, Spock.
Whenever we listen, or whenever we think about aliens, we always think about them being more advanced than us, right?
Yeah.
So the way I look at it is, what if we are the first ones and the most advanced? So we just got to wait for every other planet to catch up.
Yeah, I actually think that's a solid theory, to be honest with you.
Because we are pretty fucking advanced.
Yeah.
Interesting thing about those people that think the moon landing is fake. Do you know, back in the day, when the moon landing happened, we had we did not have the technology able to fake it. Because it was live.
Yeah.
There is no way the technology back then in the 60s, was it?
Yeah.
We would have been able to edit live on air.
Yeah. I actually.
Someone actually worked out the cameras, the computer, the editing software needed. It was nearly impossible unless they pumped, like, you'd be looking at over 1 billion. Because don't forget, back then, a 1 meg computer was the size of a room.
Yeah. No, completely. I actually agree with what you're saying there.
That's
Why would they
weird.
pull such a hoax? If it was a hoax, which I'm not saying it is, because personally I don't think it was a hoax at all.
No, it's just
But why would they?
scientifically think about it. In your head, that's weird. We had technology to get to the moon before we had to edit a live video. That's the level of technology the human race is at.
Yeah, it is. It is. I know what you're saying as well, but basically,
Yeah, you're smelling what I'm selling.
My point is, why spend so much money on a hoax? Do you know what I mean? If it was,
Would you like to hear something interesting about NASA?
go on.
All NASA's rockets are owned by Russia.
Are they?
NASA's a joint thing. The Mars rover that died,
Yeah,
or like, because his battery went dead or something, didn't it?
I believe so. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not overly knowledgeable in this subject.
Quite a
so.
few with like the mirrors and glass and stuff like that came from the Isle of Wight. So
Interesting.
NASA's
I
actually
didn't
a
know. I
worldwide
didn't know
thing.
any of this.
The rockets are on loan from Russia. They own them.
Wow, I didn't know any of this at all. So, fair enough.
Well, if NASA built them and owned them, they wouldn't need to be transported to NASA, would they?
No. Do you believe that the moon landing was a hoax? Then are you one
No.
of those that you don't think it was a hoax?
See, I believe in science and facts, and I know science changes every couple of years, but the Earth is not flat.
Yeah. Oh, let's not even go there with the flat earthers. Their fan base is well, not fan base. Their cult. No, I got to be very careful because
All you've got to do is look out your window.
yeah,
Ain't even fucking level.
No,
Look, there's a hill.
no.
How can it be flat?
Oh, that is nothing against the listeners who out there, but that is one subject I want to avoid because there's a lot of flat earthers that are quite fanatical, aren't there? And
Yeah, but at the
I'd
same
rather
point-
avoid them, to be honest.
You can believe what you want to believe.
Yeah, no, I completely
Which is the
agree with
brilliant
that.
thing about the time we're living in now. It's not like, back in King Henry VIII's time, you believed in the wrong religion, you're going to get killed.
Yeah. Fuck it. It's my show. It's our show, sorry. If anyone wants to badmouth me, then you can badmouth me. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But personally, when it comes to the flat earthers, I personally think 90% of them who say that they believe in the flat Earth theory don't actually believe in it. I think they're
I've heard that before.
yeah,
like
they're just saying
they're
just
just
saying it to get media attention,
Yeah,
the
or
public
it's
attention.
just like a thing because they want to see people's reaction. But
Yes,
I
think. Sorry, go on.
I think about 25% of them wholeheartedly believe it, but they're always the same sort of person that just don't trust the government. And by all means, don't trust any government.
Yeah.
But at the same point, science.
Yeah.
Like,
Basically, and I'll tell you why. If you ever look up, go on YouTube and look at these people that interview the.
I do enjoy when they have.
No, and
proof.
I do, and I look. I'm open-minded, but any listeners out there, I ask you look at the interviews of these flat earthers when people give them an interview, and you can tell these are very reactionary people. They tend to thrive on other people's reactions, so of course they're gonna say outlandish theories. Of course they're gonna. I get the impression these people are willing to say anything just to turn
Yeah,
heads.
but the thing with it is a lot of people say it's a conspiracy because of the American thing and they pay tax and it goes to NASA and NASA's right. So where does this conspiracy start? So 500 years ago when we decided the Earth was round,
yeah,
and we only did this just to get tax from America, which didn't exist at this point. For NASA. So 500 years ago, someone came up with a plan. They went, right, I'm going to make the country America. I'm going to say the Earth is round. So in about years and years and years, when NASA is created, I can start taxing the country. Where does this conspiracy end?
Exactly.
Like,
it's like me turning around and saying to you, just
we
to
don't get
wind you
taxed
up.
for space travel,
Right,
so
right, Tom. I think I believe it is my belief that the sky is pink. The colour of the sky is pink. Now we both know that it looks blue to us, but the
yeah, but
sky's pink.
that's another thing as well.
Go on.
Because
But prove to me the sky's not pink.
well, I can't.
Do
Because
you understand why I don't really?
you've got
I'm
things
behind
like
the flat Earth.
you've got things like colorblind and everything like that. So how do you know that me looking at that and me saying that's blue is exactly the same as you looking at it? And
Exactly,
in your
yeah.
eyes, what
Yeah.
color it is?
But
at the same
universally,
point-
it is known to be blue. The
Yeah.
sky. I think we can all agree to that. But prove to me that that's not pink. And I think basically the point I'm trying to make is this is the problem with the flat earthers. I genuinely believe they are out there to. I don't want to sound repetitive, but not cause trouble. There's another word for it. Just basically get media attention. I was looking for another specific word, but yeah. But yeah, Tommy's looking at his phone and showing me
A picture of sky blue, and comparing it to the sky.
and
See,
I thought it was wallpaper.
That's
originally, I'm not
the
gonna lie.
problem with that sort of thing. You show these people proof.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on to
Yeah,
Other
yeah, I got
subjects.
quite deep that conversation.
Star Trek Discovery. I've recently watched it.
Let me grit my teeth,
want
wind
the-
myself up at the shitty series that he's discovering. Now, go
It's
on.
got good ideas. Do you want to know
Go.
what I have taken a liking to? My favourite part of Discovery.
Go on.
It's the character Saru
I enjoy Saru's character.
and his
I
story,
do.
and like he comes from a planet where he, even though it's shown in the series that he's ridiculously strong,
Yeah.
like he knocks out people easily on that planet. He can run at over 80 miles an hour or 80 kilometers an hour. I don't know what that is in miles an hour. Is that 60? Something like that.
I'm no good at.
Right. So he's
yeah.
ridiculous strong. Can run really fast. His eyes can see in different things. He's can sense, but on his planet, his prey, and they're essentially cattle and eaten when they're an
Yeah.
intelligent race.
Yeah.
But his race cannot be saved because they're still under Directive 1, which means the Federation can't get involved.
Yeah, the Prime Directive is a weird one in Star
Which
Trek lore.
is
It's
a-
a weird.
it's-
It's a very weird
I just
one.
enjoyed his character arc. Like when he goes through, his race have a biological thing where they rather die, so they're ready to be slaughtered. But it turns out that's all a lie, and they get better after a bit.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
I just found his character. He's another one for me. He's like Data. He's like the really smart guy that no one really gets on with, but then everyone loves.
Yeah. The trouble is with Star Trek Discovery, to be honest with you, you hit the nail on the head.
Really
It's
good ideas.
Really good concepts. Brilliant concepts, in fact.
Yeah.
But
And it's not as bad as Nemesis.
I originally... Oh, my day. Don't even get me started on that. But anyway, I thought...
You don't like a little bald Tom Hardy?
I like Tom Hardy. I just don't like Tom Hardy in that.
You don't like him in a lot of things.
This is the bizarre thing. I don't mind Tom Hardy as a person, but it's just some of the roles I just don't enjoy him in. I think he's a brilliant actor. I acknowledge that he's a good actor. I just don't.
Did
I
you ever
enjoy
watch
the
that
performances, but
Taboo thing he was in?
no,
that he made?
don't think so.
It was on BBC, and I sort of started to understand it, and then it was all over the place.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Bronson?
I hear
He
that
was
was a
in
good
that.
movie.
It was. It's a one-off film. It's not one of those films I could watch over and over again. It's very rough, if you know what I mean by that.
He went for an interview with the actual man,
Yeah, he did. Yes,
Yeah.
I am aware of that.
and didn't he tell him like, "Nah, you're way too small. Fuck off."
I'm not too sure. I'm
So
not that
then
into it all, so I don't...
Tom Hardy turned around and said, "I will do you proud," and he came back after working out, got really buff for the role,
Yeah.
and Bronson said, "Yeah, all right."
I can believe it. I can definitely believe it. But, no, going back in the conversation ever so slightly. Yeah, Star Trek Discovery. Now, this is my problem. If you don't mind me saying it again, because I remember talking to you about it earlier on in
go
the
for
week.
it.
Star Trek Discovery, the problem I have with it is I originally thought the show was set in what is known as the Kelvin timeline, and basically what that is,
The original
Star Trek
timeline.
is sort of turning into Marvel, because now there's like separate timelines going on. You've got your what is now considered to be the Kelvin timeline, which is where the rebooted films are set in. and you have what is considered to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure it's still considered the prime timeline. So your Star Trek Voyager, your Deep Space Nine, your Star Trek Enterprise is set in the prime timeline. Now, the trouble is, Discovery would be more easier for me, as specifically personally as a fan,
If it
to
was
watch
set after it
if
all.
it was set in the Kelvin timeline, or even set after the events of the Next Generation and its films included. But basically, the problem I have now is that they are saying it's set in the prime. It's set before Kirk's time. It is meant to be set 10 years before the events of the original series of Star Trek. Now, continuity errors. I don't mind usually continuity errors in terms of willing to express yourself creatively. I don't think creative continuity should be this holier than thou concept. I don't mind it being dismissed now and again. But when you have a show, a franchise as old as Star Trek, my problem is with this is basically you can still add something new to it. But don't piss on what everyone else has said before.
Well,
that's my opinion.
You've mentioned continuity errors.
Yeah.
And I haven't actually seen a lot of Star Trek in many, many years.
Spore drive. Carry on.
So what are the continuity errors?
Well, the big main one, we discussed it earlier on this week, the spore drive. Now, they're saying Discovery that basically they can go anywhere in the universe. It's like the TARDIS, or it's transformed into the TARDIS, the Discovery ship. Now, I got to be really careful how I word this because I know how season 2 ends, but my colleague Tom doesn't.
Yeah, I'm about 7 episodes in.
Right, so basically, I'm not going to say too much.
I do really like Pike.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute, but basically, the main problem I had with season 1, I'll say it like that, is they were saying that this spore drive could take them anywhere in the universe. This is 100 years set before Voyager. And for those who was a Star Trek Voyager fan, Voyager got lost at the other side of the galaxy, and it still would have took them 70 years to get back into Federation space.
Well, they actually say that in season 2. There's a planet, and it's like, even with our warp at max, it would have taken us 150 years to get there.
Yeah.
So warp just doesn't improve. But
No.
at the same point, here's something to think about that I've just popped in my head with the Star Trek universe.
But
this technology that was made 100 years before, like, what, Voyager?
The events of Discovery, it will probably be over 100 years before Voyager.
So no one else that's not in the Federation has ever researched this. You telling me if the Borg wanted and knew about this mycelial network, and they can get anywhere within an instant, you telling me that they're going to give a crap about the life in that mycelial network other universe thing? No, they're not. They're going to use it and abuse it.
Yeah, of course they are. Yeah, and I do
So
agree with that.
that's the sort of holes, and this is an intelligent race that can do.
Yeah.
I mean, they will assimilate all knowledge, correct?
Yeah, of course they will.
So they know about this.
Yeah.
Technically, really, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because it can't just be the Federation's the only ones that know about this.
Exactly, but I'm not being disrespectful to anyone who's made the show. They sort of stress to the audience that it is sort of that way out. That it's the Federation that's all of a sudden it's got the hands on this sports drive technology.
Yeah, because of one scientist.
Yeah.
Well, 2. It's a sister ship, isn't it?
So you're telling me no one else? Because in Star Trek lore, the galaxy's pretty fucking damn populated, well populated.
Yeah.
And no one else came across this spore drive.
Well,
really?
Or just this network.
But yeah, that's my main. I've got other minor issues with it, but that's the main one I can think of. But it is a good show.
Right, see, I've said it before about this. Do you know what I would have done with the mycelial network? I would have slightly changed things around, because I think one group of characters from an alien race that appears in Star Trek that would have worked really well in Discovery is the Q.
Yeah, you spoke about this before.
Right.
You had a good idea.
Q, or the Q, can get anywhere in existence in the blink of an eye, yes?
Yeah.
Same as a spore drive.
Yeah.
I would have actually done it as maybe that's... I know, like, the Q have their own dimension and all this, but I would have changed it slightly and had it like, that is their runways. That's how the Q get everywhere so quick.
Yeah.
And then you could have had some interesting episodes where you have the Q turn up, because I just think it would have been more relevant. They're dealing with an alien race.
Yeah.
This could have been the first time the Federation's ever met with them.
But basically,
it's
good idea.
highly
Good
classified.
idea. You'd only have one tiny little niggle on it, and this is the hardcore Star Trek fan getting coming out to me now. The in continuity explanation is the Q as a race and Q as John DeLance's character Q didn't really take an interest in humanity until Picard's time, because for some reason Q was, what's the correct word, worry of the main theme of the story out with Picard and Q.
Yeah.
Was the Q was as a race were becoming wary of humanity and its eagerness to constantly grow. So the Q actually considered humanity as a threat.
Yeah.
And that's why they started to start showing
But,
up here
I mean,
and everywhere. But go on.
Humanity having technology to appear and reappear anywhere in known space.
Do you reckon?
I think that would have interested them personally.
Yeah, of course.
No other race is doing this.
Yeah.
I think that, like...
So if Star Trek were real, do you reckon realistically it would be more realistic storytelling if the Q stepped in?
Or at least, the very least, when they go on the mycelial network, I wouldn't have minded an Easter egg for a fan, like a Q walking in the background or something, like, as Thingy's character. Which reminds me, I was told something by someone.
Yeah.
This show Picard coming out.
Yes.
Now, this is just me being a fan, Patrick Stewart, I want Q to appear just to mess with Picard, but I want it to be Ian McKellen, because in real life they're really good friends.
They are, yes.
They actually live right near each other.
Doesn't surprise me.
But, you know,
Yeah.
because it's Janeway and Picard that the Q took a personal interest in, isn't it?
Yeah, he actually turns up in one episode of Deep Space Nine, but he's never seen again. There is some interaction between Captain Sisko and Q, but it's only one episode. So yeah, from an in-character perspective, he does seem to take more of an interest in Janeway and Picard. Why?
Janeway.
Your guess is as good as mine. But
well, Picard seems to be quite the power. I mean,
yeah.
No man can say tea Earl Grey hot in such a commanding voice.
Yeah. I love Patrick Stewart. I love Paddy's. I love him, man. He's a great guy.
But also, Janeway, she was a force to be reckoned with.
Very strong woman, wasn't she? A very strong character. And to be honest with you, my mum would probably wring my neck if she ever heard me say this, but she's probably one of, I want to say but I love Kirk. But she's up there at best captains.
For me, the two best captains are Picard and Janeway.
Picard and... Not Kirk. Are you not a Kirk man?
No.
Why? Just curious.
I don't think a captain should spend his entire life banging his way through space.
That's
not the prime
space.
directive.
What do you mean by banging his way
well,
through space?
I mean...
The guy who wrote the Khitomer Accords, who sorted, do you know what I mean, who signed a peace treaty between the Federation and the Klingons, right? He's that banging away, Tom. I take my
The
Star
guy
Trek very
who only
personally.
existed for 2 seasons and a bunch of movies.
3, actually.
Yeah, but how many times did Kurt fuck up? I mean,
Never fucked up.
Well,
I'm joking.
I mean,
but
I
know what you
suppose
mean. Yeah.
the what's the famous test? The Kobayashi Maru.
The Kobayashi Maru, yeah. He cheated on it.
Yeah.
But here's the weird thing. I'm glad you
But
brought that up.
it was made to fail, weren't it? And how you deal with failure.
Yeah, he's an interesting
but
thing as well.
I do like the revamp of Kirk, and I did like the
Chris
Kirk.
Pine's
Yeah,
portrayal.
and I do like Kirk in the movies when he's older, especially. We've spoke about it. Generations.
Yeah, definitely. He's an interesting thought concept. In the Kelvin timeline, Kirk is actually, what's the correct word to use? Not belittled, but quite ostracised for cheating in the Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah.
But in Wrath of Khan, it is hinted. Well, not even hinted. It is full blown stated that Kirk got a recommendation for cheating on that test because it showed a type of ingenuity.
Yeah.
And it showed intuition. I think the correct word was, but it's so weird how
Do you know
they
what
did
my
it.
favourite part of them movies are?
Go on.
The revamp movies.
I do like the rebooted
And I was
films.
sad when the young guy who played Chekhov died.
Anton Yelchin, I want to say his name
Run
was.
over by his own car or something.
Yeah, horrible way to go.
But My favourite parts of them movies, just because I'm a big Carl Urban fan,
Yeah.
are Bones, and I think they couldn't have got anyone better to play Spock.
Yeah, Zachary Quinto.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great actor. He is a great actor.
But
So...
Bones, I love. Are you out of your Vulcan mind?
I can't remember the actor's name who plays Bones, but I'm actually
Carl Urban.
He's
He's
the
in
main
The
character
Boys
in
as
Preacher,
well.
isn't he?
Have you seen The Boys yet?
I haven't seen The Boys. I'm watching. I'm catching up on my Preacher though. So don't tell me if you've watched that. Don't tell me.
No, I haven't watched. Well, The Boys and Preacher are written by the same comic writer.
Right. So.
I do like it, but no. Oh, if anyone's not seen The Boys yet, you need to watch it. It's a satirical take on the superhero genre.
Right.
Like superheroes are, they're only bothered about the fame and the merchandising and all of this. And The Boys is basically a bunch of normal guys that don't like superheroes.
Yeah.
And they're trying to take down not even a hidden reference to, an actual parody version of the Justice League. Every character that's in the DC Justice League, there is a version of them in this.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Including Aquaman, that yes, the entire Justice League do bully.
Oh wow! Justice League bully Aquaman?
Well, it's in pop culture. It's done like
there's a lot of parodies about him.
Aquaman was like the little bitch. It's not until like
oh no,
Jason Momoa played him that everyone was like, shit.
Yeah,
this guy. I mean, it's just one of them, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd like to see Batman try and ridicule Jason Momoa. To be fair, I don't think
he was the only bit about that Justice League movie I actually enjoyed was him.
Yeah.
Like, I just think he was hilarious. Him and Wonder Woman seem to be the new like front runners for this DCEU.
Yeah, I like Wonder Woman.
But anyway,
though. I'm a
speaking
big
of
fan
DC movies, Joker.
Yes, you was going to tell me a piece of information before the podcast, but I said save it for the podcast because it sounded interesting.
So many critics and reviewers that have already seen this movie have, even though this movie's got praise and has already been tipped for being like best movie of the year and an amazing character movie and could redefine character movies, not just superhero movies.
Right.
Have classed this movie as dangerous.
Why?
Because it deals with a man that is not noticed by society, is ridiculed at every turn, and bullied and downtrodden and things. And a lot of people think that certain groups of people might see this, and actually, there's a real concern that they might even try and copy some of the things he does in this movie, which I think there's been loads
it's
of
happened before.
There has been
cut you off there, go on.
So far there has been loads of controversial news stories, but to class the movie as dangerous just because it's about something that in society you really have people that are lonely, downtrodden, failed by the system. Why does that make this movie dangerous?
Exactly.
And it's set in the 80s for the simple reason if there was something like around like this today, we would catch them within 5 minutes. But because it's set in that time, the cameras can't really get his face clearly. There ain't no Facebook. No one's pulling out their like smartphones and quickly taking a video. So the reason it is set in the 80s is that combined with it's Gotham City, but it's obviously an allegory. Gotham, everyone knows, is New York City.
Yeah.
And in the 80s, New York City was rife with corruption and violence. And
yeah. It's definitely, I can understand why, but I don't agree with it. Because basically, I feel we have to bring it up to really give this subject justice. Do you remember when The Dark Knight came out and there was a shooting and there was the big thing when the guy copied the Joker in some way and he...
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah. So because of what happened, it's a very controversial, sensitive topic. I got to be very careful here. I can understand why people are hesitant, to be honest with you. Not hesitant, incorrect word, worry. I can understand because...
Yeah, but to class a movie as dangerous, I'm sorry, but we live in the West. Freedom of speech, and that is the level of shit like China does. This is dangerous and not to be seen by the... Do you know, like,
agree,
things like Twitch are actually banned in China.
This society, it can be very hypocritical for things like that because it's saying a film like... is it called The Joker? The new
Joker.
Film? They're saying the new Joker film is dangerous, but we're allowed to casually sit and watch Clockwork Orange. Need I say more? Now,
Well,
I'm not even going to go down that road, but that's not a nice film. But anyway, yeah.
Controversies like this, they just make people want to go and see the movie more.
Yeah.
Just look at, obviously, it's...
Exorcist.
I was actually going to say Brokeback Mountain. Because there was a big controversy over that for obvious reasons, and most theatres in America refused to play it.
Yeah.
So it quickly became one of the biggest movies of the year because everyone was flocking to the ones that could.
Yeah.
I've never seen the movie myself. I've seen Prince of Persia and the same guy's in it. So.
Wow. Yeah. No. Yeah. There's quite a few, hasn't it? It's gained. It's safe to say has gained more notoriety because of the controversy. So I completely agree with that.
Blood and Sands.
Was controversial?
That was very controversial because it had sex scenes in it that like level of Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones didn't get that level of controversy.
No, it's bizarre, isn't it? I think it's to do with mentality of the time and the attitudes as well as a lot to do with it.
When I was recently at Ribchester Museum, and there's a guy coming around next year doing a he's an artist, so he's showing off his work, but he's a big he helps design like the Roman costumes in movies and stuff like that. I'll have to get the date and maybe say it next week. But I found that something interesting.
Go on.
Do you know why in all or most Roman movies you see, the Emperor's guards are always in black? Because in real life, their armor would have just been the same as everyone else. They would just have a different color. So they wouldn't have... They are black because in media, they are designed to look like SS Nazis because that way you see them as a dictatorship and evil. Just subconsciously.
Wow. Yeah, it's actually clever that, isn't it? It's
certain people might try and comment against me, but the facts are there, so look it up before you try and comment.
That's
a real thing.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true, yeah.
Because historically, there were no... black armor uniforms that we found so far.
No, very
true.
It
just reminded me of that because obviously Joaquin Phoenix is the Emperor in that.
Yeah. Oh, do you like Gladiator? That was a film.
Gladiator is a cracker movie, isn't it?
It is.
It starts off as I think it's film everyone can watch because it's just such a good story.
Yeah.
It's a man's film all the way through, a woman's film at the end.
Yeah.
A win-win.
I always say when it comes to historical films, Gladiator, Braveheart. I've
Braveheart is one of my favourite movies of all time. I love it.
But that can be considered as quite controversial because didn't it upset a lot of people from Scotland because of its historical inaccuracies? And correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section.
No, I think it was just they put Mel Gibson in it. No, it is more or less quite accurate. I mean, Robert the Bruce and all that. But
yeah.
Oh God, I watched that not too long ago. I love Stephen.
I need to rewatch it again, to be honest with you.
You have no idea how often I've been sat in like a work meeting or something.
Yeah.
And my boss or whoever's talking to us avoided the question. I've just wanted to do the famous Braveheart scene. What? Yeah, Father, ask him. The Lord said, "Will you stop changing the subject and just asking a fucking question?"
Oh dear. Yeah, great film. Changing the subject.
Can you imagine doing that at work?
Yeah. Yeah, you'd lose a job. You wouldn't be working there again. Speaking of sensitive subjects, and I do feel we need to bring this up, kudos and great respect to Christopher Eccleston.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I know people don't say we talk about Doctor Who too much, but
this
at the end of the day,
needs to
we're
get
talking
brought
about sci-fi. If you don't like it, move on.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
I can't be any more blunt, can I? We are talking about something other than Doctor Who now. It's a weird one.
Yeah.
So
do you want to talk about this? Because I feel you'll be better at handling this.
So he's come out saying that he struggled. Was it during the filming of Doctor Who?
I can't remember if it was during. I read somewhere he struggled with it all his life.
Yeah,
but it seemed to be more intense during the time.
He struggled really badly with anorexia, which he's getting quite a bit of stick for this.
He's getting stick.
He is getting stick from some people.
Why is he getting stick for it?
It's one of the things that people still don't understand. It's like you used to get it, and you still do get it sometimes with depression. Oh, why are you depressed? Just be happy. you know, it doesn't work like that. It's a chemical thing in your brain.
Right, you understand? Yeah,
But like
completely.
anorexia, it's one of the things. Oh, why don't you just eat? It's you physically don't want to. The appetite, and if you look back at some of his work and even some movies, he does look awful in some of them. Now that you know what you're looking for, like he could have played Skeletor in some things.
Yeah,
Like
he was always very slim, wasn't he? Very skinny. But you don't think the
but all the mental things that come with this, and I don't know. It's
so going back in conversation because you piqued me interest. Why is he getting stick for opening up about anorexia? Do you know what I mean?
A lot of
heartbreaking condition.
A lot of people still think it's just someone that just wants to be skinny. They don't. A lot of people don't realize there is like a lot of mental factors behind it. Like it can be linked to depression and anxiety and things like that.
Yeah.
So, like I've had depression like a couple of years ago, and I was down to like 6.5 stone.
Yeah.
Unhealthy because I was going through depression and just had no appetite.
Yeah.
Like it got to the point where my mum was threatening to pull my hair back and start shoveling mashed potato in my mouth.
See, when it comes to eating, overeating, undereating,
Bigorexia is the opposite of anorexia.
It's always gonna. I'm gonna be really honest with my listeners now, and to Tom. It's always struck a chord with me because, and I've always loved Christopher Eccleston. You know, I always say David Tennant might have been the Doctor that really got me into Doctor Who, but for me, Christopher Eccleston was the guy who introduced me to Doctor Who.
He intrigued you about the universe.
Absolutely, and so you can understand, you can imagine that this past week when I read the article, it was. I will always perceive it as brave, especially when in terms of struggling with certain eating habits. Because
anyone that comes out with like, I've got depression, anxiety, gay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I'm not saying gay's an illness, like before people sound thrown it, but anyone that comes out with something so personal that has caused them, like I've dealt with racism or anything like that.
Yeah.
Anyone that comes out with something like that. You're brave because in now day and age, the moment someone gets behind the keyboard, some people just turn into nasty little bastards.
Yeah,
there's no way to pull it.
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna take a leaf out of Christopher Eccleston's book, and I think he's done the brave thing. So I think it's time that I were brave.
You're not anorexic.
No, I'm not anorexic, but all my life.
Nasty as that sound.
No, I'm not anorexic. Don't worry, listeners. All my life, I have had trouble with my weight. Not all my. I have either been when I was.
Yo-yo.
When I was in my teenage years, I was incredibly slim. In my 20s, to my late teens to 20s, I put a lot of weight on.
You were, no offence, but you were quite big in college.
Yeah, I was very big at college. But at school, I was quite slim. And in primary school, I was big. So I have never been a perfect weight. What?
I just realised who you look like in college.
Oh.
Have you ever seen Beverly Hills Ninja?
No.
Yes.
No, I've never seen it.
You've never seen Beverly Hills Ninja?
Never seen it, no.
Alright, carry on talking.
And basically, I've always been told that a part of my autism, it might be considered into the factor why I overeat. So basically, the main point I want to bring up is eating habits. It can be seen as such an embarrassing thing for a lot of people that struggle with food, whether they overeat or undereat.
It's a coping mechanism.
And yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. So yeah, it's one of them things, isn't it, that I don't think gets enough media attention. Yeah, I'd say I looked a lot like him, to be honest with you. But yeah.
Maybe slightly different, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe not that big. But yeah, similar hairstyle.
No, not that big. But that was your kind of...
yeah.
But yeah, no, is there anything you want to talk about that's happened in the week? Because I've taken the Area 51 and the...
No. I see, like I said to you earlier on in the podcast, I received some criticism.
Wow.
Yeah, I've just realised that myself. If you don't mind, do you want to put it on pause? I'm just going to get a drink of water. So if you want to... Right, I have just realised we have hit the 40-minute mark, have we?
Yeah, so I
So-
want to spend 10 minutes talking about this segment I suggested last week.
And you have had suggestions.
I
haven't you?
have. I've had a couple of suggestions from certain people, like David. I got told he prefers to be called David, and we can no longer say Dave.
No, Dave.
No, and another friend of mine called Adrian, who suggested a game. But then I noticed something else in my cupboard: a glint,
Glint.
a blast from the past.
Oh, wow.
A game that the moment I said while I was on the phone to you started reminiscing about before. So I wanted to go into something that we both like. It's the classic known as Simpsons Hit and Run. Now, for anyone that's not played this,
Brilliant game. Go on.
For anyone that's not played this game, your opinion does not matter.
Oh.
Like if you owned a PS2 and did not at least at one point play Simpsons Hit and Run,
Yeah,
like
it's
obviously
considered one of the top 10 games of the PlayStation 2, isn't it?
it's in there, but it was from when The Simpsons was good. The humour is good in it, and to be honest, yeah, the graphics are very boxy now.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They are very boxy, and the mouth it flaps. It's like watching Canadians from South Park, but it has aged surprisingly well, and it is still a good game. The driving is still good. The controls are pretty basic. Jump, kick, it's all good. The humour is good in it, finding the little gags.
Yeah.
And alright, it's not a huge map because there's a few of them, but you know what? It is aged, in my opinion, really well, and it could do with a HD overhaul.
Do you reckon they will ever not remake it, but
I live in hope.
I live in hope?
Like if they,
it is. Sorry, Scott, I've gone.
I have really fond memories of this game. I played it so much because I wasn't allowed GTA at first, and this was basically GTA.
Wow,
wasn't it? You could steal cars.
Absolutely.
There were bees. There were robot bees.
Yeah, I remember them.
And
every time you kicked them, you got coins and you
there
got
was
rewards for.
There were races. There was a lot to do. There were gags.
Side missions.
Yeah, it was for fans of the show, but also not.
Yeah.
And it's so old. On the back of the instruction manual, and an instruction manual, a game that used to come with them, because they don't now. It advertises season 3 of The Simpsons.
Wow.
So it is
old.
It is from the golden era of The Simpsons.
Absolutely.
But what about you? Because you have really fond memories of it as well, don't you?
I do, yes. I remember I used to be a huge gamer when I was like, I think everyone was when it was about 8 or 9.
Yeah, PS2.
I think that's when it came out. It was definitely when I bought it, because I played other games like Sims Busting Out. I played games like GTA Vice City.
Vice City is one of my
games like that. So
GTA Vice City is my favourite. But GTA.
It is, isn't it? You've mentioned that.
Yeah.
But without getting sidetracked, Simpsons Hit and Run. See, I was a huge Simpsons fan anyway when I was a kid. So this was
at that point, Simpsons Mania was in full effect.
It was in full swing. At that
I don't know
time,
about you,
it?
but I used to come home from school every day, sit down Channel 4.
Sky 1 for me.
Yeah. It was either Channel 4 or Sky 1, 6 o'clock Simpsons was on.
Yeah. There was always either one of those channels were showing Simpsons, definitely. What is your favourite Simpsons episode? Do you have one, or do you have a memorable one? I know you like the Treehouse of Horrors, I remember you were telling me.
Yeah, I really like Treehouse of Horrors, and those are the ones that stick with me. But I like the one, because Simpsons parodies a lot of things, and I like the one where Homer becomes best friends with Ned Flanders, and and then there's the Terminator, because some of my favourite movies are Terminator, so some of my favourite things in The Simpsons are Terminator related, and I love the one where it's the parody of Terminator 2 where Homer's chasing with the golf clubs, and it's like, hurry Daddy, he's gaining on us.
Yeah, Simpsons humour. I don't know what it's like now. I'm not one of these people. Oh, Simpsons isn't as good as it used to. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
It isn't as good.
It
started declining after like season 9. But anyway, back to the actual point in this like little segment for 10 minutes about Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yeah, go.
In my opinion, it has aged like a fucking fine wine. If anyone sees it in CX or a shop, and you've got a PS2 or an Xbox or a GameCube and you have the capability to play it or download it online, play it.
Yes.
It is worth it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Like, I bought it over now, and we're probably going to play it for a bit.
Even the storyline was quite engaging. Because do you remember the last? I don't want to give it. I don't know. Can you spoil game stories? Spoiler alert in case people do think like that.
Well, I think at his age, but
because you had different settings. You to play different characters. In the last setting, you was Homer again, as if the art was coming into full circle.
Yeah,
and it was like its own. Where zombies were coming. And
yeah, the last one was very the end of the world.
Yeah.
You have Homer in the Springfield that everyone sees and knows, which is like the suburban area where the family live. You had Bart, and he was in the city centre.
Yeah.
And there were jokes like the monorail that never got finished in South Park and things. South Park? In The Simpsons.
In Springfield.
You had Lisa and Marge were both in like the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And didn't you play as a poo?
You did in one, yeah. And you played as Bart as well, and they were both in the same setting, I believe. So
it was a poo's not in The Simpsons anymore or something, is he?
No. But that's one topic I don't really want to explore.
But no, it was.
Yeah.
If anyone's got any suggestions, I mean, there are a few I'm now looking to track down, like other people have suggested.
Yeah.
One of them is Ico.
Yeah.
Which is basically the game made. It was a precursor to Shadow of the Colossus.
And in case people are wondering why I just said about the Apu, it's a controversial topic. I don't want to say over a podcast because I can't be bothered with the negativity backlash, yeah. And I don't want to offend anyone. That's the fear I have. But yeah, going back into the conversation, it was a brilliant game. Now, what I just thought then, I don't know if we talked about this, rating. Do you want to rate a game every week?
Well, yeah, we can rate it because I was planning to just rate it. Has it aged like fine wine or like chunky milk? And I would say it has aged. Well, some things they have aged badly.
Right, yeah.
For example, one of our favourite games of all time is Time Splitters.
Yeah, that is aged quite.
The controls have aged quite bad, but Simpsons, it still plays really well. Simpsons Hit and Run, not Road Rage. So I would say it has aged like fine wine. I'm going to give it like 5 dogs out of 10.
5 dogs out of 10.
Whoa, no one wants a star. Everyone wants a dog.
Okay, interesting.
So yeah, that's my recommendation. If you have it laying around and you haven't played it in years, you know what? Whack it in. Have a go. You won't be disappointed. If you compared it to modern games now, I bet you will smile more playing this.
Just take a trip to Nostalgia Lane, everybody. It is a good game.
But anyway, that's the segment over. That goes, I don't know what. That goes milk and wine.
So, do you want to wrap up a little bit now? You know, because we're in the last 10-minute mark. Is there anything particular you want to talk about?
No, I mean, I think this has been a pretty good podcast. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to do it, aren't I?
Do you want me to do it? We'll take it in turns.
Go on, then you do it.
Please, by all means, if you enjoyed this podcast, like always. Please, if you're enjoying the content we're providing you, please subscribe and ring that bell.
And like. Or he'll beat me again.
Please like us. Please make me popular. Please.
I don't want to go back to the circuit.
But it's we was talking as well, you know, basically, do you want to tell the listeners a bit of a life story again, like we have been doing the past few weeks?
Well, I think it's your turn this time.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, I told the bomb story.
Oh, okay. I tell you what, I am going to say it, because we were talking about it this week, and...
Oh, there is something I actually want to add.
Go on.
I have recently got back into Pokemon Go.
Oh, right, okay.
Because they've released a new thing, and I've been told by a couple of people to get back into it. So, if anyone plays Pokemon Go, just tag that like trainer code onto Anthony's Facebook, and I'll start adding people.
Oh wow!
Well, there are challenges to like add people, aren't there? So
yeah, yes, I think we should. We were talking about a particular individual earlier this week. There was a woman called Lauren, everybody, who was in our class.
Sounds like a haiku.
And basically, I had a crush on her. I think it's safe to say. And we were really close, weren't we? Is it safe to say we were pretty close? And basically, I let my feelings get the better of me on this particular day.
Are you defacing? Is this story?
Lauren fully aware that I was also a wrestling fan, like she was, especially at that point in my life. I was hugely into wrestling.
She lent him a book. Now,
And it was... Go on.
Now, this story comes with a warning here. If there's anyone that loves books, do not send us any hate.
Basically,
you're about to make some book lovers cry.
She lent me a Shawn Michaels autobiography book. And for those who don't know, Shawn Michaels was a wrestler. And basically...
Is he still going?
Yeah, no, he retired. He retired before she lent me the book. No, and basically, cut a long story short, I was too much of a coward to tell her how I felt, like, but that I was attracted to her. And basically, I put a very soppy note in the front, not the behind the front cover, the introduction page. What's it called? I put a soppy note in the introduction page. Now, Lauren never did get back to me about that. I always assumed she was pissed off. Safe to say, even though we were close in college, she never really spoke to me again after that.
Now, I'm not being funny, but if someone defaced one of my books by writing in it, I wouldn't speak to him again either.
But the note was fairly soppy, though, to be fair.
Soppy or not, you ruined my fucking book.
Did I ruin it? Would you say?
No, I just... It's just a funny story that you defaced a book to try and get a girl. Like, come on, man.
I don't. Yeah, looking back.
What's the next step? Stand out a window with a boombox.
Looking back,
careless whisper.
It is cringy, but
yeah.
I was a young man. I was a kid, man.
Yeah,
what,
we all were.
What do you expect from me? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, and to be honest with you.
Now listen to this confused called Lauren that are just randomers looking for all their books. Like, did I know him?
Oh dear. Yeah, but I'm happy with that. Is there anything you want to add?
No, just like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. Yeah.
Please like us. Please like us.
And we actually do appreciate comments. I know we say it every week, but comments underneath the Facebook video are so nice.
Always, and I do have to mention again, David. Thank you so much for your feedback and support, and another. A fan as well who commented and
my friend Tay.
Good friend. Thank you for following and supporting us.
Yeah,
I have been Dancing Bear, your autistic prince,
and I've been Tom Koala. Just Tom.
See you later, everybody.
See you later.